Hello and welcome. This is from the CBN. We bring to you weekly reports and expert analysis of the actions, policies, and economic initiatives of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN. I am Muliye Misi Dada. The Trade and Exchange Department of the Central Bank of Nigeria has released the operating guidelines for the implementation of the RT200 non-oil export proceeds repatriation rebate scheme. The rebate scheme is one of the 5 key anchors on which the RT200FX program that is targeting the repatriation of $200 billion over the next 3 to 5 years is based. In this episode, we'll recall those 5 key anchors of the RT200FX program and bring you the highlights of the operating guidelines for the rebate scheme. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
North, South, East or West, male or female, old school or millennial, rural or urban, the Naira is the same, and so is the e-Naira. The e-Naira is a legal tender issued by the Central Bank of Nigeria. So, let's embrace it. The e-Naira will foster financial inclusion, improve access to credit, facilitate cross-border remittances, and it's easier to transfer. E-Naira, same Naira, more possibilities. This message is from the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN.
Welcome back. The RT200FX program is a set of policies, plans, and programs exclusively for non-oil exports and meant to attain $200 billion in forex repatriation over the next 3 to 5 years. The program has 5 key anchors, namely Value-Adding Export Facility, Non-Oil Commodities Expansion Facility, Non-Oil Rebate Scheme, Dedicated Non-Oil Export Terminal, and Biannual Non-Oil Export Summit. Let's recall the description of those 5 anchors as presented by the CBN Governor, Mr. Godwin Emefiele, during the last Bankers Committee meeting press briefing in Abuja.
Let me briefly describe each of these anchors. The value-adding export facility will provide concessionary and long-term funding for business people who are interested in expanding existing plants or building brand new ones for the sole purpose of adding significant value to our non-oil commodities before exporting same abroad. This is important because the export of primary unprocessed commodities does not yield much in foreign exchange. In Nigeria today, we produce about 770,000 metric tons of sesame seed, cashew, and cocoa. Of this number, about 12,000 metric tons are consumed locally and 758,000 metric tons are exported. The unfortunate thing, though, is that out of the 758,000 metric tons that are exported annually, only 16.8% is processed. The rest are exported as raw sesame, raw cashew, and raw cocoa, thereby giving Nigerian farmers an infinitesimal part of the value chain in these products. For example, the global chocolate industry is valued at about $130 billion. Of this amount, Cote d'Ivoire, Ghana, and Nigeria account for more than 72% of global cocoa exports. Yet, because we mainly export raw cocoa beans, Cote d'Ivoire gets or earns $3.6 billion annually. Ghana generates $1.9 billion annually, and Nigeria generates about $800 million annually from an industry that is worth over $130 billion. In contrast to West African countries, Belgium accounted for 11% of global chocolate exports in 2019 at a value of $3.16 billion. Similarly, Germany's chocolate export were worth $5.14 billion in the same year. These numbers are the same for other commodities as well. Therefore, given these alarming disparities between exporters of raw commodities and exporters of semi-finished or finished products, we believe that the value-adding export facility is a first step to getting back some of this foreign exchange that we rightly deserve. Indeed, we expect that this facility will also accommodate the demand of our youth population who are already adding value in using e-commerce and online methods for the provision and export of software, financial services, financial technology, Nigerian fashion and attires, and the likes. As long as these exports are captured with from NXP and the FX proceeds are repatriated and verifiable by the CBN, we will accommodate such businesses under this facility. The second facility we announced is the non-oil commodities expansion facility. This facility will also be a concessionary facility designed to significantly boost local production of exportable commodities. This facility will be designed to ensure that expanded and new factories that are financed by the value-adding facility are not starved of inputs of raw commodities in their production cycle. A massive boost in the production of such commodities will also help dampen and moderate the prices of these commodities so that the expected increase in demand for them does not become a pressure point for aggregate prices in the market. In order to maximize the potentials and impact of this facility, we will replicate what other successful export-based economies have done by first prioritizing and targeting certain commodities. We will create a geographic prioritization of crops across the country to achieve production efficiencies through the development of special areas that will cater to specific commodities. Since sustainable foreign exchange earnings are dependent on national competitive advantage, a prioritization framework based on crops which Nigeria is best suited to produce will be essential. Today, we are also announcing the introduction of the non-oil FX rebate scheme, a special local currency rebate scheme for non-oil exporters of semi-finished and finished produce who show verifiable evidence of export proceeds repatriation sold directly into the I&E window to boost liquidity in the market. Analogous to the Naira for Dollar scheme, which has helped boost remittances from only $6 million per week to over $100 million per week, we shall establish the modalities for granting a rebate for each dollar that non-oil export proceeds that an exporter sells into the market for the benefit of other FX users and not for funding their own operations. Although this rebate program is with immediate effect, the detailed guidelines of this scheme will be communicated latest next week. Our plan is to graduate the percentage of the rebates depending on the level of value addition into the product being exported and for which FX is repatriated into Nigeria. In recognition of the perennial problems of port congestion cited by the exporters as a major impediment to improved operations and foreign exchange earnings, we have designed a third anchor of the RT200 program, which is the construction and establishment of a dedicated non-oil export terminal. According to the African Center for Supply Chain Practitioners, Nigeria loses about $14.2 billion annually due to congestion at our ports. Paraphrasing from an article by the Financial Times in December 2020, the congestion has become so bad that while it costs $3,500 to ship a 40-feet container from China to Lagos, which is a distance of 22,000 kilometers, it costs $4,000 to move the same container from the port to mainland Lagos, a distance of only 12 kilometers. During our stakeholder engagements with the various segments of exporters, we heard several heartbreaking accounts of how containers spend several months in the ports just waiting to be shipped, resulting in loss of perishable goods or well-established foreign customers. If we are to reach our goal, if we are to attain our goal of $200 billion in non-oil exports, then we can neither ignore nor wish away this problem. We must confront it head-on and provide a solution. That is the reason we are today throwing a challenge to all state governments that have existing ports and are willing to partner with the Bankers Committee to establish not only a dedicated export terminal, but also the entire ecosystem of a world-class infrastructure needed for non-oil exports out of Nigeria. Over the next 3 months, Bankers Committee will be collecting and analyzing detailed proposals from interested state governments in order to decide which one we could partner with. The Bankers Committee will be arranging a significant part of the financing that will be needed for this port, while the selected state governments will have responsibilities that will be spelled out in due course. What we're saying here, we will be approaching state governors that have port facilities or want to build port facilities, because we are determined to set up dedicated export terminals in the country. Yes, seaport, and also we're also aware that some dedicated airport terminals are also being built. We would like to partner with them, but we are not going to limit it to just one. We would like to see those terminals compete with themselves. So we are looking at not less than about two or so, or 3, so that they can compete, because we must ensure zero tolerance for export of items out of the country, whether they are perishable or non-perishable. We believe that this dedicated port will be capable of creating over 100,000 direct and indirect jobs and will provide a huge boost to our quest for significant improvement in non-oil export earnings in Nigeria. Let me emphasize that under this arrangement, loans to companies wishing to expand or build new plants that will generate verifiable export proceeds for the economy shall remain at 5% per annum for 10 years loan, inclusive of 2 years moratorium. In recognition of the lessons we have learned from our rounds of consultation with non-oil exporters, we believe that a more formal, predetermined, and regular forum will be necessary to discuss the issues, challenges, and opportunities in this segment of the economy. That is the reason today we are announcing the introduction of a biannual non-oil export summit, the first of which will be organized during the first week of April 2022. This summit will bring together all the relevant stakeholders in the export business, including bankers, customs officials, Nigerian Ports Authority, the Nigerian Export Promotion Council, clearing agents, cargo airlines, shipping lines, logistic companies, insurance practitioners, and etc. This gathering will be one where for every complaint, problem or issue, challenge or difficulty that is presented or identified, there will be one or several agencies or practitioners that can articulate options for solving these problems. We believe that the ideas harnessed from such summit will be invaluable in helping us attain our ultimate goal of $200 billion in non-oil exports over the next 3 to 5 years. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm mindful that this goal itself may appear unattainable to some, but we are resolute and determined that we can achieve it. Many countries that are much less endowed than Nigeria are doing the same. Consider, for example, that agriculture exports alone from the Netherlands was about $120 billion last year. Yet, Netherlands has a land mass of about 42,000 square kilometers, which is much less smaller than the land mass of Niger State of Nigeria alone, at over 76,000 square kilometers. In closing, let me note very importantly that the RT200 program is not intended to be a silver bullet to all our problems in the export segment of the economy. Rather, it is a first step meant to ensure that the CBN is better able to carry out its mandate in an effective and efficient manner, which guarantees preservation of our scarce commonwealth and the stability of our national currency, the naira. It is only by boosting productive and earnings capacity of this economy that we can truly preserve the long-term value of our currency, the naira, as well as the stability of our exchange rate.
Nigeria is a rich nation of green land, rich resources, countless crops and commodities sufficient to feed and provide a means of livelihood for her teeming population. Chin up, Nigeria, the giant of Africa. Exciting times are here. We can be self-reliant and grow our economy if we work together to explore our potential. It takes a whole nation. Let us get involved. Buy Nigerian to grow Nigeria.
Thanks for staying tuned. And if you're just joining us, this is From the CBN, a weekly program that brings to you reports and expert analysis of the actions, policies, and economic initiatives of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN. Last Friday, the CBN issued the operating guidelines for the implementation of the non-oil export proceeds repatriation rebate scheme under the RT200 FX program. The rebate scheme is designed to incentivize exporters in the non-oil sector to encourage repatriation and sale of export proceeds into the forex market. It is born out of the need to develop new strategies aimed at earning more stable and sustainable inflows in order to insulate the Nigerian economy from shocks and foreign exchange shortages. The objectives of the scheme are to enhance foreign exchange inflows, diversify the sources of forex inflows, increase the level of contribution of non-oil exports, ensure stability and sustainability of forex inflows, and support export-oriented companies to expand their operations and capabilities. The CBN Trade and Exchange Department is responsible for the day-to-day administration of the scheme, and only exporters of finished and semi-finished goods are eligible for the incentive. Exporters shall qualify for the rebates only where repatriated export proceeds are sold at the Investors and Exporters I&E window. There are 5 conditions for eligible transactions that qualify for the incentives under the scheme. 1. Export of finished and semi-finished goods, wholly or partly processed or manufactured in Nigeria. 2. Export of goods and services that are permissible and excluded under existing export prohibition list. 3. Completion of E-Form NXP. 4. Registration with Corporate Affairs Commission and Nigeria Export Promotion Council. 5. Sale of repatriated export proceeds at the I&E window. Notwithstanding, when the export process was initiated, the exporter will qualify for the rebate provided the stipulated criteria listed above are met. The scheme shall pay 65 naira for every US dollar repatriated and sold into the I&E window to ADBs for other third-party use, and 35 naira for every dollar repatriated and sold into the I&E window for own use on eligible transactions only. Payment of incentive shall be made on quarterly basis. The accounts of exporters that qualify for the rebates shall be credited latest 1 week after the end of the quarter. Submission of requests shall be made through the Authorized Dealer Bank ADB where the E-Form NXP was established, and it shall be the responsibility of the ADB to authenticate all documents submitted for rebates. All processed applications shall be for the consideration of the Central Bank of Nigeria through the Office of the Director, Trade and Exchange Department. Routine monitoring of disbursement to eligible exporters shall be conducted by the CBN at the authorized dealer banks, and any observed infractions shall be met with appropriate sanctions in line with the CBN regulations. The guidelines are for immediate implementation, subject to review from time to time as may be considered necessary by the Central Bank of Nigeria.
My name is Astrop Yetude Patricia from Osogbo. I'm into bag business. My business located at Osogbo. I benefited from CBN loan during last year pandemic season. I was given a TCF COVID-19 loan, the amount of 450,000. I was told by a friend to log in that government are doing, CBN are doing stuff for youth then. So when I logged in, fortunately for me, I was granted the loan. I collected the loan June last year. Before the loan was granted, I've been having a lot of challenges in my business due to what happened last year during the COVID-19. So immediately the loan was granted to me, it was so helpful for me to help me start all over again. And right now, I'm very happy because my business is now booming. So I would like to commend the effort of the CBN governor, the President of Nigeria, for this initiative, because they really tried and really, this thing really helped young youth then. And I would like to employ them to continue this thing. They should not stop it, because there are some other people who need this help as well. So that I want other people to benefit from where somebody like me has benefited. And I would like to implore all the youth to have courage and to be courageous enough, because there are a lot of benefits outside that can be benefited from without being violent or without being doing anything rubbish. So I will implore other youth to look out for this loan, because it's really good. And for us that have collected it, we should try and pay it back so that other people too can benefit from it. And then so that we go collect more than the one we collected. So this law is very good, and then thanks to Nigeria as a whole.
Orúkọ mi ni Mr. Sikiru Iyọlá Akínọlá tó ń gbé tó jẹ́ ọmọ bíbí ìlú Òṣogbo. Mo ń ṣe block ní area Akọ́bọ̀pẹ́ ní East Bypass along Ilisha Road. Mo ń ṣe block, mo dẹ̀ ń ṣe ring, mo dẹ̀ ń já yanrìn, mo dẹ̀ tún supply block fún àwọn tó bá fẹ́ kọ́lé. Business mi àdúgbò tí mo ti ṣe yẹn ọjọ́ Akọ́bọ̀pẹ́ area Òṣogbo. Mo gbọ́ nípa lóhùn kan ní CBN. Mo dẹ̀ sọ fún ọmọ mi kó bá mi ṣe. Mo dẹ̀ wádìí ẹ̀, wọ́n dẹ̀ ọmọ mi dẹ̀ bá mi ṣe online láì mẹ́ni kankan rí. Wọ́n dẹ̀ ṣe fún mi. Ọmọ mi dẹ̀ ṣe, wọ́n dẹ̀ ìgbà tí mo lọ síbẹ̀ wọ́n dẹ̀ approve ẹ̀. Wọ́n dẹ̀ fún mi lówó yẹn, owó tí mo fún mi gbà yẹn, wọ́n fún mi 500,000. Láì mọ̀ yẹn kankan ni wọ́n ṣe fún mi. Mo kàn lọ nígbà tí mo gbọ́ lórí láì mo dẹ̀ ṣe. So mo gbọ́ owó yẹn ní inú ọdún ìyá 2020. Ìgbà yẹn tá a gbọ́ owó yẹn gan kò sí kankan mọ́. Iṣẹ́ ti lọ ọlẹ̀ torí àríbí jáde àríbí lọ́bì kankan. Iṣẹ́ gan ò lọ mọ́, àdúgbò tá a gbà gan lọ́wọ́ kọ́sọ́mà àti náà tán. Ṣùgbọ́n nígbà tí a gba owó yẹn, ó tún mú iṣẹ́ yẹn tó ń gbèrú. Gbogbo àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ tá a ti lé lọ tẹ́lẹ̀ bóyá mọ́ ti wà bí iṣẹ́ nígbà tá a rówó san fún wọn. A tún rówó yẹn san fún wa, a tún gbòòṣẹ́ mi gan láti fún un. Nínú ẹ̀ a tún tọkọ̀ sí ọkọ̀ táwọn fi kó blọọkì táàrí tó ṣe tó ti kú rẹpẹtẹ tẹ́lẹ̀, a tún rí tó ń ṣe. Alhamdulillah, mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ gómìnà CBN torí wọn àmọ̀ wá rí wọn kàn sórí yẹn fún wa. Mo tún dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ìjọba Buhari tí wọ́n fi kíní yẹn ṣàǹfààní fún gbogbo ọmọ Nàìjíríà bẹ́ẹ̀ tó bá béèrè fún wọn àwa rí lórí láyìn àdẹ̀ béèrè fún Ọlọ́run dẹ̀ jẹ́ kó ṣeé ṣe láì mọ̀ wá rí nígbà tá àmọ́ ọmọ mi ṣe ọmọ mi dẹ̀ ṣe àdẹ̀ òun ẹ̀gbà ó dẹ̀ kópa rere gan nínú ayé mi nítorí pé mi ò lè gbàgbé mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ wọn gan so gbogbo iṣẹ́ tá a tí ò lọ tẹ́tẹ́lẹ̀ iṣẹ́ àyè lọ mo sì tún fi àsìkò yìí advice àwọn èèyàn tó bá jẹ́ furniture ni tó bá tàn tí ń produce tó lè ṣiṣẹ́ tó lè make nǹkan kan tó lè sọ kankan di nǹkan kan mo advice ní kẹ́ ẹ lọ síbẹ̀ káwọn náà béèrè àǹfààní ní CBN kọ́mọ̀ ìbílẹ̀ mọ́ ti jàgídàgà káàkiri gbogbo ẹ tó bá ti fẹ́ gbé tó bá ti ní iṣẹ́ ọwọ́ kó lọ rí kó wá sí kó lọ sí CBN wọ́n á help ẹ̀ pẹ̀lú àǹfààní yìí ó pọ̀ lọ tó bá béèrè fún kì í ṣe pé wọ́n mọ̀yàn rí tí wọ́n bá mọ̀yàn tí wọ́n bá ti rí pé oníṣẹ́ ọwọ́ lọ́yẹ̀ tó ń ṣe nǹkan tó bí furniture ní ẹni shoemaker ní ẹni tó rò ó fi ṣiṣẹ́ tó bá ti ń lọ síbẹ̀ wọ́n á fún ẹ so mo àbá gbogbo àwọn tó ń ṣe jàgídàgà káwọn náà lọ sí ibẹ̀ kan lọ ṣe kán béèrè àǹfààní yẹn Ọlọ́run á ràn wá lọ́wọ́ so mo dúpẹ́ gan gidi.
And with that, it's a wrap from the CBN this week. You can report unresolved banking issues to the CBN Consumer Protection Department through the email address cpd@cbn.gov.ng with relevant documents. Call the CBN Contact Center using the phone line +234 700 2255 226. Local call rates may apply. Send your inquiries and comments to the dedicated email address from the cbn@gmail.com. Follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter for updates and uploaded episodes of the program. We invite you to join us again next time. I am Mulia Misi Dada. Stay safe and bye for now.